SpaceX has assembled the pieces for its planned orbital test flight of its Starship 20, ahead of Elon Musk's speech at Starbase in Texas. Let's dig in. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel Elon Musk World, where we tell you all the latest news about Elon Musk and his multi-billion-dollar companies. In today's video, we are going to tell you about Elon Musk's Starship 20 and Booster 4. The massive Super Heavy booster is topped with the S20, which refers to the Starship's prototype's serial number 20 version. The combined rocket reaches a height of 394 feet. In comparison, the new Space Launch System rocket from Kennedy Space Center for the upcoming Artemis I mission is 322 feet tall, while the Saturn V rockets for the Apollo missions were 363 feet tall. Musk gave a demonstration from the company's Boca Chica, Texas facility, where work on the new rocket has been going on for the past few years. Musk explained why he's working on Starships, with the ultimate goal of making life interplanetary, including establishing a self-sustaining colony on Mars. Why are we doing this? I mean, it's pretty epic, but what's the sort of deep meaning behind this? Like, why build a giant reusable rocket? Why make life multiplanetary? I just think this is just an incredibly important thing for the future of life itself, according to Musk. He went over the defense or life insurance reasons in detail. There's always some chance that something could go wrong on Earth. Dinosaurs are not around anymore. He said it, but then went on to explain why it was inspirational. According to Musk, it's not enough to solve problems in life. There must be things that move your heart and inspire you. When you wake up in the morning, you're excited about the future, about being a multi-planet species, about being a spacefaring civilization, and about making science fiction a reality. I believe it's one of those things. It's what gets him the most riled up. Let's go see what this universe has to offer. He also stated that he expects the Starship and Super Heavy combination to fly for the first time before the end of the year. We are talking about a rocket that's more than twice the mass and thrust of Saturn V, and also designed to be fully reusable. So much better from an environmental standpoint to have a fully reusable rocket, Musk said. For a development cost that is between 5 and 10% of Saturn V, of course we need to make it work, so it doesn't work yet. It will work. Might be a few bumps along the road, but it will work. The 165-foot-tall S20 was placed atop Booster 4 during the overnight Starship stacking. These are the two pieces that will attempt Starship's first suborbital test flight. Previous test flights only went up about 6 miles and only used 3 or fewer of the new powerful Raptor engines in the upper part of the combined rocket. The orbital version will be paired with a Super Heavy booster, which will have 39 Raptor engines, 33 on the booster and 6 on the Starship. Musk stated that they may end up with 9 Raptors on Starship in the future, bringing the total number of engines on the ship to 42. As backdrops go, this is a good one, Musk tweeted. The results of an environmental assessment conducted by the Federal Aviation Administration are expected to be released on February 28th. It has the potential to pave the way for the test launch. The assessment was supposed to be released by the end of 2021, but it was postponed due to more than 18,000 public comments on a draft version of the report released last September. Before attempting to launch from Texas, some environmental groups have pushed for SpaceX to go through a more rigorous environmental impact statement process. Meanwhile, at Kennedy Space Center, SpaceX has started work on a second launch complex to support Starship launches. SpaceX had already completed an environmental impact statement for the site, when it was simply planning to use it for Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy launches. When it launches, the rocket will be the most powerful ever to take off from Earth, with a thrust of more than 16 million pounds. This nearly doubles the power of planned Artemis missions, and more than doubles the power of Apollo missions. When combined with the booster, the Starship design can be used for suborbital point-to-point flights on Earth, as well as deep space missions to the Moon and Mars. For the first time since 1972, a version of Starship will be built to support the Artemis III mission, which will return humans to the lunar surface. According to Musk, right now, his focus is on getting to orbit and proving the return of the booster and ship. He is planning to have a high production rate, so he is not completely reliant on full reusability. But that's the fundamental breakthrough that will change the course of human civilization and enable humans to become a multi-planet species. He invited the crowd gathered to hear him speak to take a closer look at the stacked Starship and Super Heavy booster at the end of the night. Let's go as hard as we can in order to have an exciting future, Musk said. If everything goes according to plan, SpaceX will attempt to launch a Starship into orbit for the first time early next year. Elon Musk stated that the company plans to launch its first Starship into orbit in January or February, and ideally, that initial watershed moment will be followed by a slew of others not long after. The Super Heavy is the first stage booster that sits at the bottom of the rocket. The booster is 70 meters tall and houses up to 33 Raptor engines that are optimized for sea level. The engine cluster could be more powerful than the Saturn V. The booster's tank can hold up to 7,900,000 pounds of propellant, which includes 6,200,000 pounds of liquid oxygen and 1,008,000 pounds of liquid methane. Super Heavy's dry mass is estimated to be between 350,000 and 440,000 pounds without propellant. The tanks weigh 180,000 pounds. The interstage between the booster and the spacecraft weighs 44,000 pounds, and the engines and mounts will weigh 4,400 pounds. The booster is outfitted with 4 grid fins, each weighing 6,600 pounds. For better pitch control, these grid fins are not evenly spaced and can only rotate in the roll axis. They might be able to control the booster's descent and serve as a landing point for the tower's mechanical arms, though catching Super Heavy requires a high level of precision. This could shorten the time between landings and allow for more frequent launches. Cold gas thrusters fed by evaporated propellant inside the tanks may be used to control the booster's orientation. The booster may move its engines and rotate the rocket while Super Heavy and Starship are attached in space. When the latches are released, the booster separates from the aircraft due to the conversion of angular momentum. The second stage of the booster is the Starship, which is a spacecraft. The spacecraft stands 50 meters tall and weighs less than 220,000 pounds dry. Starship can carry payloads and astronauts to higher Earth orbits, the Moon, Mars, and other destinations in the solar system by refueling with additional Starship tanker spacecraft. The spacecraft has 2 main tanks and 2 header tanks, with total capacity of 2,600,000 pounds. Each of the spacecraft's main and header tanks contain a type of propellant, either liquid oxygen or liquid methane, which is used to flip and land the spacecraft in the header tanks. 6 Raptor engines are located at the bottom of the Starship, 3 of which operate in the atmosphere, and the other 3 Raptor vacuum engines may operate in space. The spacecraft has 4 body flaps, 2 of which are mounted near the nose cone and 2 of which are mounted near the bottom, to control the spacecraft's falling velocity and orientation. Because the hinges that hold them in place are the most easily damaged components during re-entry, they are sealed with metal. The heat shield on the Starship is designed to be used repeatedly, with no maintenance in between flights. It's made up of thousands of hexagonal tiles, each one mounted and spaced to account for heat expansion. The shape of these tiles prevents damage from hot plasma, allowing them to withstand temperatures of 1,400 degrees Celsius. The payload volume of the Starship could be as large as 1,000 meters cubed, far exceeding that of any other spacecraft. 2 rows of stretch-form steel make up the nose cone of the spacecraft as of August 2021. And this is it for today, guys. What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.